Hello students, welcome back to the image compression module. So this is the second video in the series of image compression. So we have seen what are the different types of images are there, what kind of redundancy we can find. So I remember we have discussed coding redundancy, psychovisual redundancy. So one thing I forgot to mention in the psychovisual redundancy is that uh, we will not say it as a psychovisual redundancy, but you know that is the one characteristic of the image, and we have found out the human eye response to it. So that one thing I would like to mention here is that one more thing about image compression that we have is a brightness of the pixel. You know, when we find out an image, when you convert it into values, you find out that brightness of a neighboring pixel is also correlated. So what do you mean by this? Two adjacent pixel might have different colors. You know, one mostly red, one must be green, one must be blue. But if the red component of an image is bright, chances are high that the neighboring pixel, whether they are varying in a different color, they have a different color, whether it is blue or whether it is green, but they will be also have the same brightness. Okay, now this property of an image can be exploited using different approaches. Now what do you mean by different approaches here? This property can be exploited by converting the pixel which are there in RGB, that is red, green and blue, from the RGB representation to another representation where one will represent the brightness and the other will be representing color. So what are you doing here? Whatever your image is there in RGB representation, you are converting into a three component representation only. But that three component representation, one will be representing the brightness and the other two will be represented by the brightness. So one such other two will be representing the color. So one such representation is YCBCR. So what do you mean by YCBCR here? Y corresponds to luminance component, which is nothing but a brightness, whereas CBCR correspond to the chrominance component, that is a color. So now when we say that the image has been represented in a brightness and in a color format, now the important thing, the eye is sensitive to the small changes in brightness but not to the small changes in the color. So what is the meaning of this? The eye is more sensitive. The eye can detect any changes in the brightness, but if you change the color in a slight manner, if you change the color component a slight manner, the human eye is not able to detect it. So we are going to take advantage of this property. So whenever it is possible, we will try to convert that RGB into YCBCR format, and then we will separate out these components. Y represent the luminance, Y represent the brightness component. So eye is more sensitive toward the brightness. So probably we will not like to touch it. We will not like to play with the Y component. Yes, but we can play, or we can find out redundant data, or we can find out a data which can be eliminated in the CBCR component. So you have to remember that always, that losing the information in Y component is a very bad idea. It is noticeable to the eye, whereas you can play with the components, you can play with the data in the CBCR component. So that was a one way in which you can go for a image compression, or one way in which you can find out the loss in the data. Now we have seen many videos where I have, my recorded videos. So one thing I would like to mention here is, because I forgot to mention another video, the slide numbers are continuous from the lecture 1, the part 1 to the end. Okay, so the video might be divided into a different part, but you will see that if this is the video, the slide number will not be 1, because it is the continuation of your first module. So I wanted to mention it one of the video. Now let's see what are the different type of approaches we can have. Okay, so in this video we will be discussing these 8 approaches only. I will not be going ahead with the new topic. So RLE, that is a run length coding. I remember I had mentioned this word, or mentioned this kind of a compression, when we have gone for a bi-level image. So what was a bi-level image? If you remember, bi-level image is nothing where the image is having only two values, either it is black or it is white. When I convert it into a software, when I digitally process that image, I find that it is only all the values belongs to only no, it can be represented with a single bit. The bit can have 0 or the bit can have 1. So in this case, what is happening? A pixel in an image is represented by 1 bit. So what are you getting from it? You mean that most of the time, a pixel in an image will be identical to the neighboring pixel. So as you can see in this image also, this is a white patch. Okay, so if I consider this as a white patch, so all the neighboring values are identical to each other. So in this case, whenever you have this kind of a data where the values are identical to each other, you go for a run length coding. What do you mean by run length coding here? You find out how many pixels of white are there before you go to some other color, before you find out there is a change in the color, and you try to represent the this runs or these values of white by variable prefix codes, and then you write it in the component screen. So that is the way your RLE can work. Then you have, for this context coding, works well for the bi-level image. It can go work for a bi-level image also, or it can work for a continuous tone images also. Now, what is a context coding? Context coding says that I will find out one pixel. Okay, so suppose in the current pixel has color C. So then the past pixel will also have the same color, or the immediate neighbors can also have the same color. So in the context coding, what are you happening? You are finding out the current pixel color, and then you are looking at the past pixel, and you are looking at the future pixel also. So the approach which looks at n number of near neighbors of pixel, consider it as a n number, and this number is a context of the pixel. So as such, you can find out many contexts where the that particular numbers will be the same for the image, and the encoder will count how many times each context has been found on a particular pixel, and assign the probabilities to that context accordingly. For example, if the current pixel has a color C and its context has a probability P, then the adapter can use adaptive arithmetic coding to encode the pixel with that probability. So when I'm finding the context, suppose this is my image, a very small image I am drawing, and then I am talking about this particular pixel. Okay, so then I try to find out the in the past, in the neighboring this thing, how many have the same color. Okay, suppose this I am talking about past. Imagine that this particular image has been coded by row wise, and then coming it down by zigzag scanning. So I find out whether the future pixels are also same. So if it is same, I say that this is the context. These many pixels are the context of that particular pixel, and I give a sign, and I try to find out how many contexts are there similar to this, which has the same value, and then I give the probability to this particular context. Okay, so this, and then this probabilities are coded with your adaptive arithmetic coding. So this also can be used for bi-level image, and it can also be used for a grayscale image, because these are the images where you can find out the context more easily. So we have finished with RLE, then we have finished with the context coding. Okay, now go for a separate level. Now the third approach says you can separate the grayscale image into n bi-level images. So if you remember, we had said that grayscale image is nothing but where the colors are varying between 0 to n, and it can have shades of 2 raised to n. Okay, so if I'm saying that grayscale is represented by these two values, then it will have 2 raised to n of levels of grayscale. So in this case, we can convert grayscale image into n bi-level image, and then each bi-level image can be compressed with the RLE and prefix code, that the way we have done it for the first approach. So sometimes it may not work, because some grayscale images can vary drastically, because when you convert into a bi-level image, you are right converting into a bit planes. So you are assuming that if you are talking about 4-level bit plane, you are assuming that these values have similar probabilities, or these values are similar. So in some cases it will not work. Then you have context and predictive coding. Approach is context and predictive coding. So we say that context is nothing but a neighboring values. So now what do we do? whenever we have a context, or we can examine the values of some values of this pixel p, and then we try to find out average of these pixels. Okay, and I say that now the next pixel which will come will have this average value, not the average value, this average value of neighboring pixel which you have calculated. This is the value of next pixel. That is nothing but your context coding and the predictive coding. You have found out a context, you have taken an average, and then you are trying to say that the next pixel will have this as a this average as a pixel value. Now the important approach, the transform, because transform what is this basically approach? You given an image, you transform the values of pixel and encode the transformed value. Okay, so here what are you going to do? We say normally say the compression in the image achieved by a redundancy. So the redundancy of an image is not caused by what? It is caused by the correlation between the pixel. So you are going to transform the pixel to a representation where they are decorrelated, which will eliminate the redundancy. So what are you doing here when we say that images pixels are correlated because they have a similar value? So find out a transform which can decorrelate the value, and this way you can eliminate the redundancy. So in one of the way we also say that the transform will also give you what is a it is, I mean, transform is nothing but an entropy of the image. If you have highly correlated image, the pixel will tend to have equiprobable value, which will result in a maximum entropy. If the transformed pixels are decorrelated, the certain pixels will become common and will have a large probability, whereas the others will have a rare probability. Now this will result in a smaller entropy. Now quantizing this transformed values will give you a lossy image compression. Once you have this transformed values, where the redundancies is eliminated, the pixels are decorrelated, then you go for a quantization. The quantization is a process, remember, quantization is the one which brings a loss in the data. So once you quantize this transformation, you will have a lossy image compression. So this approach is also, it is quite popular in the literature. In the different transform you have, you have DCT, then you have DWT. So there are different transform and each works differently with the images. Now most of these things which we have discussed goes for a black and white or grayscale or a bi-level image, whereas these approaches are more common in the color images. Of course, when you convert your color images into a YCBCR or grayscale, these approaches work fine, because I think all the compressions will involve some or the other transform. Now what is the next approach? We can separate continuous tone images to a 3 grayscale images. See, I told you all the color images probably will be using one of these after converting into a grayscale images. So what are you going to do here? Once the grayscale images you are converting, you are trying to find out whether you can implement any context coding or any predictive coding. Okay, so let me give you one example. Suppose you have 12-bit pixel value where the color component is expressed in 4 bits. So when I talk about 12-bit value, that means the color, 4 colors are given for RGB, 4 bits are representing your green, and 4 bits are representing your blue color. Okay, so I take an example where if I see these 4 images, these 4 bits, there is not much change, but when I convert it into a decimal value, I say that color is nothing but a mixture of 50% it is red, and 25% it is green, and there is no blue color. Now if you imagine the two adjacent pixel, it will only differ by 1, but when I divide this 12-bit numbers into a 4 bits, then it differ by 1. But if I take the two pixel values as a whole 12-bit number, then there will be there will be a large difference. Okay, so sometimes you have to take care of these things and then convert your values into the appropriate one. Mostly you will be converting into a luminance component. Now block decomposition method. Now, block decomposition method is well for the discrete tone images. If you remember the discrete tone images, we have said that it has a uniform region. So, what are you going to do when you find out any image or any region which you want to compress and it has appeared several times before? So, what you will be, suppose for example, I am trying to compress this particular block and I know that this block has appeared before also. So for this particular block, I will just write a pointer to the previous one. Suppose this block is B and this block is A. So you know that A has been coded before. So for in place of B, you will just write a pointer to A. So this is nothing but your block decomposition method. Then one more thing you have fractal method, which is very this also is used very commonly with the image compression. What is this fractal method? Fractal method says that you divide your image into a smaller box, go on dividing your image, and it says that when you suppose you initially you have processed, okay, suppose these four parts you have processed and you come to fifth part, so you try to match this fifth part to some of these four parts. Now you can have combination, like I can write that this particular part should be rotated, this particular part should be scaled, this particular part should be inverted. So I'll write all those combination for the fifth part. That is nothing but a fractal method. It instead of going for the entire images, it applies image compression part to the image compression methods to the part of the images. So these are the different approaches to the image compression. uh, it's just a summary which has been given. For the most important, or what we will be studying in detail, is a JPEG image, which is quite famous, and all of us are using that. So most of the things you will observe that we will be going for a lossy compression, because our eye is perfectly happy with it when we do. So I hope you remember all these terminologies which we have used when we have discussed this different approaches. So next lecture onwards we will start with JPEG image algorithm, JPEG basic, why JPEG is important, how it is done, when it was developed, and all. So that's for the today's video. Thank you.